This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
So we move on. It's April 15th. The NWA officially strips Dusty of the U.S. title because of the suspension for 120 days. So we've already seen the Midnight Rider on TV tapings, but now the storyline is catching up to the syndication. And that night in the main event at the Boston Garden, man, what a historic building. Dusty Rhodes, Sting, the NWA Tag Team Champions, Luger and Barry Wyndham, defeated Ric Flair, Ivan Koloff, Arn Anderson, and Tully Blanchard in a steel cage match. The following day, Chicago, 3,500 people at the UIC Pavilion. They watched you and Tully in a losing effort to Lex and Barry. You guys continue to go at it with Lex and Barry as even after Clash of the Champions. And then on April 17th, don't be shocked, Jim Crockett tapes multiple shows. The episode of World Championship Wrestling that aired on the 23rd that included the match with you and Tully taking on Barry and Luger. We're going to put a pin in that for a moment and discuss that match here in a few minutes. But in the dark match, following the NWA Pro taping the same day, Sting, Wyndham, and Lex Luger, they defeated you in an elimination match. Big-time matches going on here. And following that television taping, you and Rick wrestled at the Charlotte Coliseum, taking on Wyndham and Luger in the main event. Next day, the beat goes on. It's a six-man tag team, West Palm Beach, where the Midnight Rider, Sting and Luger, defeated the Horsemen in about 14 minutes. And then on the 19th, 4,500 in attendance at the Knight Center in Miami. You lost to Luger by way of a count-out. And now, Arn, we are here for the conclusion of the angle that's been building for nearly 90 days. In Jacksonville, Florida, on April 20th, Jim Crockett recorded an episode of World Championship Wrestling that aired on the 23rd. And then this taping, arguably the greatest incarnation of the Horseman, is formed when Barry Wyndham turns on Lex Luger, helping the Horsemen defeat the Twin Towers, that's what they were called, and therefore become the two-time NWA Tag Team Champions. Arn, throughout the entire match, JJ harassed and belittled Barry about Luger's inability to help him. You and Tully and JJ had jumped on Luger early and kept him on the floor, effectively making this a handicap match. For 15 minutes, you and Tully take turns beating on Wyndham. And just my own opinion, if anyone out there doubts just how good Barry is, stop this podcast, go watch the match, come back to us. Arn, we have the closing moments of this match and the fallout. Let's take a look at it.
Getting it off Blanchard. This is a one-man battle right now. Luger is still staggering. He is still on his knees.
JJ stirring the pot.
Yes, he is.
James J. continues to talk to Barry Wyndham. Oh, yeah, Barry Wyndham. That might be the home run he needed. There may not be a man there for him to tag, but by golly, there's a man trying to get up. And
Teddy Long is your official. There's a little bit of trivia.
Luger. Wyndham made the tag, and Wyndham's upset.
Shock. Great job by the announcers.
Jim Ross, man.
Brother, they are killing it right now telling the story.
Tony.
But that's not the story right now. We are a witness to some stunning developments. It's the Midnight Rider who's made his appearance here. Luger is out cold. The Midnight Rider, let's see the referee out to the concrete. Luger is in terrible physical shape. But my God, he tried with every ounce of heart and soul he had to get back in the ring and help his partner. What in the world did he fall? What in heaven's name can Barry Wyndham be thinking about? What possessed him to do that? Not Barry Wyndham. I can believe it to some people, but not Barry Wyndham. And Barry Wyndham, you and I know, Tony. No, you're exactly right. A lot of questions need to be answered. That is a stunned look on the face of Nikita Koloff. You see the Midnight Rider in here. Only thing I can say, man, it is total shock, not only here in Jacksonville, but I'm sure nationwide, as we have witnessed the last thing in the world we expected. What in the world happened to Barry Wyndham? Luger was trying to get back in the ring. He did everything he could, and the Midnight Rider, I don't know where he's going, but he looks like he means business. Nikita Koloff, Dr. Death and Sting are helping Luger out of the ring. Well, it appears that, and I understand we are going to try to follow the Midnight Rider. What the hell's happened to him? Jim, as we do, I think, I'm sure we have sound back there. Why don't we just let the video speak for itself here? Where is it? What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? You don't have to do it. You don't need to talk to me with that one. Don't turn your back on me. Don't turn your back on me.
Chaos.
That was that was some fun stuff, man. Now listen, I got to say this. If you're a member on adfreeshows.com, you're going to get as your bonus show this month, should I say, with Arn Anderson. John Alba and Arn sit down and they watch that entire match, right? In its entirety of that tag team match in that turn. So they're going to do a watch along for that. So check that out. It's going to come out after this show drops. But Arn, thoughts on that? You guys put the match on, you completed the angle. Why is it now? It's the time for Barry to turn and complete the Horseman. Why do you think this all worked, man?
Well, you heard one of the announcers, and I think it was JR, say, no, not Barry. And I think that said it all. Nobody believed Barry Wyndham would go with us. He was a standalone kind of a guy. He was like a lone wolf type guy. Career babyface. Just people loved him. They did. The girls loved him. The kids loved him, and the guys loved him. They wanted to be him, which is one of the keys when you're a top babyface. And the story we told, I thought, worked. You know, to the naked eye. If you're Barry Wyndham, he keeps looking at his corner. He needs to make a tag, and there's nobody there, and he's wondering where Luger is. And that can build and build and build, and pretty soon you just get pissed off. Feel like you're in the match by yourself. He didn't realize that we were using the numbers and using JJ, Tully, and myself to keep Luger out of the fight. And if you're Barry Wyndham, in his mind, he had enough, and with JJ constantly stirring the pot,
I thought it was so cool how it's the entire heel locker room trying to rip that mask off Dusty. Just not the Horsemen. The Midnight Express are in there. All of them. Everybody that's a heel wants to expose Dusty Rhodes in that moment, and that just shows you the importance of that whole storyline and having all of them want to tear that mask off of him. It was just powerful. It was cool.
Yeah, storytelling.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.